Hello, brothers and sisters. Thanks for joining. Hey, today I saw a story that I was pretty happy to see. It looks like the UK is finally starting to move in the right direction, but it's like turning the Titanic. It's not easy with all that momentum. So this story is in the BBC. It's 2 days old. UK backs down an Apple privacy row, US says. So in this story, I don't know exactly who, but allegedly someone in the UK government had asked Apple, and then I'm assuming other tech companies, to provide backdoors into their systems for anti-terrorist purposes or anti-crime purposes. So it's likely to be the UK spy agencies or the UK Justice Minister, something like that, are probably leading the way on this. And Apple had fought it for a while, but then eventually Apple gave up because they couldn't not, it's been alleged. And so Apple said, well, we don't really have backdoors in any of our systems, and we don't intend to build any. So you know what we'll do? We'll just go ahead and remove our highest level of encryption from all Apple products, and that will meet the need. Well, that's a really silly way to do things, because now that just opens up all Apple products in the UK to hackers. So the government just made it easier for Apple devices to be hacked. Now, the government hasn't admitted that they did this because they neither confirm nor deny, and Apple hasn't admitted to any of this either. It's just we saw that they did disable those encryption features out of the blue, and it's been leaked that the reason they didn't say it is they've been ordered by the UK government not to tell anyone about this order under serious penalties if they do. So this is just another example of Britons giving up your privacy, and also Americans. If Americans are traveling to the UK, or anyone traveling to the UK, could potentially be impacted by this. So I think that this is a good thing if it's true. So let's read this and see what it says. This is from Zoe Kleinman. The U.S. Director of National Intelligence says the UK has withdrawn its controversial demand to access global Apple users' data if required. Tulsi Gabbard said in a post on X, the UK had agreed to drop its instruction for the tech giant to provide a backdoor, which would have enabled access to the protected, encrypted data of American citizens and encroached on our civil liberties. The BBC understands Apple has not yet received any formal communication from either the US or UK government. And they probably won't admit when they do get communication, again, because it's been alleged that this order exists, and that this order also comes with penalties if Apple discloses it for under the National Secrets Act or whatever in the UK. We do not comment on operational matters, including confirming or denying the existence of such notices, a UK government spokesman said. Well, Tulsi Gabbard, who is arguably the top spy in America now, has said it. So I think it's probably true. We have long had joint security and intelligence arrangements with the U.S. to tackle the most serious threats, such as terrorism and child sexual abuse, including the role played by fast-moving technology in enabling those threats. In December, the UK issued Apple with a formal notice demanding the right to access encrypted data from its users worldwide. However, Apple itself cannot view the data of customers who have activated its toughest tool, ADP, Advanced Data Protection, which prevents anyone other than the user from reading their files. In order to do so, it would have to break its own encryption methods. We have never built a backdoor or master key to any of our products or services, and we never will, it said. Instead, Apple responded by withdrawing ADP from the UK market and started a legal process to challenge the order. This was due to be heard at a tribunal in early 2026. It is not clear whether this will continue to go ahead. Because of the secrecy surrounding the government order, issued under the Investigatory Powers Act, it is not known whether other tech companies have also received a demand. The messaging app platform WhatsApp, used by millions of Britons, says so far it has not. I think that's preposterous. Of course they have. All the big tech companies have probably received these orders and just they're not allowed to admit it. Hugely welcome. The notice, which neither Apple nor the Home Office has ever confirmed, enraged privacy campaigners who are now cautiously optimistic about the news. If true, this decision is hugely welcome, said Sam Grant from civil rights group Liberty, which along with Privacy International previously launched separate legal action against the UK government. He told the BBC the creation of a backdoor to citizens' private data would be a reckless and potentially unlawful move by the government. Yeah, see, it's crazy because in America, I think you need a warrant for anything like this. And then, of course, Apple would turn over the data if it could. But this one's a little tricky because Apple even says we don't have access to the data. And that's really what the UK doesn't like. They can't get at the data and they want to go on a fishing expedition into your private business to see what's in there. And I do get that there could be some real criminal activity by some people, but you're taking away the rights of everyone because of some criminals, and I'm not for that. This would present a huge threat to our personal national security, especially as we know it'd leave politicians, campaigners, and minority groups especially at risk of being targeted. As long as this power exists within the Investigatory Powers Act, it remains a risk that future government might also try to use it to create a backdoor into other end-to-end encrypted services we all use. Yeah, absolutely correct. This is not a labor problem. Any government would do it. So if the Tories were in charge, if the Lib Dems were in charge, if reform takes over here in 4 years, they would use these same tools. So we need to nip this in the bud now and stop it for the good of everyone in the long run. Jim Killock, executive director of Open Rights Group, voiced similar concerns. The UK's powers to attack encryption are still on the law books and pose a serious risk to user security and protection against criminal abuse of our data, he said. Democrat Senator Ron Wyden said if the climb down by the UK was true, that's a win for everyone who values secure communications. However, the details of any agreement are extremely important, he added. There is already a legal agreement between the US and the UK government, the Data Access Agreement, which allows both countries to share data for law enforcement purposes. Yes, this is a little different than that because, again, Apple even says they cannot get at this data. The UK wanted a backdoor. So again, I think this is a win for privacy advocates. This is great because the state, under the guise of national security or protecting children, are taking away everyone's rights bit by bit. They're just chipping them away. Now you can be arrested for loving bacon in the UK. It's like, where's it going to stop? Are they going to use this to rifle through my through my phone when next time I come to the UK looking for images of bacon? And I know that seems absurd, but the whole thing is absurd. So again, this is a big win. I'm happy to see it, and we need more of this. So people everywhere, UK, US, keep electing politicians who will fight for our rights and not take our rights away, because that's the direction the UK has been going in. And then, to be fair, that was the direction America was going in the Biden years. They, under the guise of protecting everyone from COVID-19, they were censoring speech and ordering Twitter, Facebook, and all the platforms to remove content they didn't like. And that's exactly what's happening today in the UK. So yeah, this has got to stop. Everyone, keep fighting the good fight on this one. All right, that's what I got. If you like me, like and subscribe. If you don't like me, don't watch me. Or, hey, in the comments, tell me if I got something wrong. I read them, and if you have a good, reasonable argument, I'll engage with you. And who knows, if it's good enough, I might do a follow-up related to it. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.